Hello, my name is Dr. Nathan Peterson, and today we're going to be discussing physical stress. Now, if you have not listened to the previous lecture, which is on subluxations, please do that so you have a better understanding of my lecture and how these physical stressors can cause those bones out of place. Now, what are the physical causes of a subluxation? There are many things that are physical causes of subluxations. Specifically, some good examples are the birthing process, falls, car accidents, slip and falls, repetitive motion, poor posture, prolonged sitting and standing, computer, keyboard, and mouse use, poor sleeping positions, and gravity. Now, what can you do to reduce the physical stress in your life? We're going to break this down into a few different categories of what you can do to actually prevent these physical stressors from causing subluxations in your spine. First and foremost, the most important and probably one of the most well-known things to offset physical stress is exercise. The current guideline for adults for exercise is 2 hours and 30 minutes or 150 minutes total per week. These exercises should be a moderate intense activity. These workouts should include aerobic activities such as brisk walking, as well as muscle strengthening activities such as weightlifting, yoga, Zumba, any of those things to get you actually gaining muscle growth. So, exercise. What does moderate exercise mean? Now, moderate exercise means that you can maintain a conversation while doing that exercise. The purpose of doing moderate exercise is to increase your heart rate, increase respiration. Some studies have shown that moderate exercise can be as beneficial as vigorous exercise. Now, exercise equates 150 minutes equates to about 21 minutes per day, every day. Now, that's not very much time at all. Most of you guys actually maintain or are able to achieve those 21 minutes through working, walking, just everyday interaction. Now, know that this is a minimal guideline. 21 minutes is the minimum. Now, anything you do beyond 21 minutes is only beneficial, and I honestly suggest that you try to go for anywhere from a half hour to an hour of exercise every day. The more minutes you put in, the more benefits you will receive. Let's move on to exercise for children and adolescents. Now, children and adolescents should do about 60 minutes of exercise per day. We all know this. They have a lot more energy and they need to expel it a little bit more. Some exercises that they could do would be running, walking, their muscle strengthening could be gymnastics and push-ups as opposed to weightlifting. And they also want to do bone strengthening because they're growing children. So jumping rope or running is a great way to help increase that bone strength. Moving on to exercise for seniors. Now, seniors are 65 years or older and have the same recommendations as adults. That's right, 2 hours and 30 minutes per week. So, get out there, seniors, and get that exercise done. So exercise, what are the benefits of exercising? Now, we all know that there's many, many, many benefits, and I'm not going to go over all of them, but some of the biggest ones affecting our country today is actually weight control. So, by moving more and eating less, you reduce your weight. Simple as that. Also, the reduce of cardiovascular disease, which is also the biggest killer in the US. Major issues like type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndromes are reduced when exercising this often. It also helps strengthen bones and muscles, can reduce some cancers, and improve your mental health and mood. That's right, when you exercise, it actually helps release hormones within your body called endorphins that make you feel better. Improve the ability to perform activities of daily living, such as sitting or cleaning. You can do a lot easier when you feel a lot better. It also increases your longevity, which everyone wants. So, my biggest tip for exercise is to do something that you like. It will be easier to maintain as well as follow through on your exercises. Also, consider exercising with friends or family. You can hold each other accountable and have fun while doing it. Okay, so you ask me, Doc, I know I can do exercise to reduce my physical stress. What else can I do? Well, we're going to move on to proper lifting. Now, I know a lot of you guys have had exposure to this, whether through work or whatnot, but some people don't have exposure to this and they're improperly lifting all the time. So, there's a few specifics of what I want you to do when you're trying to properly lift. First off, you're going to keep a wide base of support. So your feet should be about shoulder width apart and one foot slightly ahead of the other, such as a karate stance. This helps to stabilize you. Now, what you want to do is you want to squat down directly over the object. So you bend at the hips and the knees only. If needed, you can put one knee to the floor and use your other knee in front of you at a right bent angle. We'll see that in the next slide. Now, you want to maintain and keep good posture. As you bend down to retrieve whatever object is on the ground, instead of looking directly at it, you know where it is, and so you know where it is in front of you on that ground. So you can look straight forward. Remember how we talked before that looking straight down puts a lot of force onto your head. You can actually decrease your neck pain and having any kinds of issues by looking straight forward as you bend down. This helps your upper back maintain being straight while having a slight arch in your lower back. Now, what you also should remember is you should slowly lift things up. There's no hurry, especially if the item is very heavy. And straighten at your hips and your knees, and do not use your low back to pick up the object. It's all in your knees and your hips. Hold the load as close to your body as possible at the level of your belly button. Use your feet to change directions. Don't pivot with the object in your arms. Actually move your feet. Lead with your hips as you change directions. Keep your shoulders in line with your hips as you move. And set down your load carefully, squatting with your knees and hips only. Some things to keep in mind. Do not attempt to lift by bending forward. As you can see in the picture, the man bending over instead of squatting down is much more likely to cause a subluxation, as well as this position is very, very likely to cause the possibility of a disc herniation, which no one wants. And now, remember, never lift a heavy object above shoulder level. If you need to lift something above, ask someone to help you so that you guys can push it up together. Avoid twisting or turning your body while lifting or holding an object. Again, this leads to disc herniations, which again, no one wants. Now we're going to move on to proper standing. People stand every single day and they don't realize that they're not doing it properly, thus causing more problems in their spine. So, some things to remember while you are trying to maintain proper posture while standing is to keep your feet equal distance apart, about hip distance apart. Balance your weight evenly on both feet. No pivoting, no slouching to one side. Keep your shoulders back and relaxed. And also, keep your ears aligned with your shoulders by bringing your head back slightly. So what this means is that you should be able to align your ears with your shoulders. Most people have what we call anterior head carriage, where their head goes a little slightly forward, and again, that's causing more pressure being pushed down by gravity, so you're actually having to maintain that posture more specifically. So, what I like to tell patients is to retract your chin about 1 centimeter or 2. I mean, we're not talking push your face back, make a duck face. We're talking about slight retraction of the chin. It makes a big difference, and it helps maintain proper posture. Now, a few things not to do as we look at this slide and these people with very poor posture. Don't hunch your shoulders. Do not lock your knees. You want a slight little bend in your knees so that you don't have all the pressure being put right into those joints. Also, do not allow your head to tilt forward. That's where we talked about the slight chin retraction. Do not jut your chin out. Again, chin retraction. And do not push your pelvis out. So with proper posture, the key to proper posture is to be aware. What I suggest is that you remember this lecture. Remember me yelling at you. And every time that you're slouching, or pivoting, or leaning towards one side, remember that you're constantly causing irritation and pressure into your spine, and that's going to lead to subluxations, which will lead to pain. Now, being aware of your proper posture takes a little time. What they say is for habit to form, it takes 21 days of doing it consistently. I don't expect everyone to listen to this lecture and instantly have perfect posture, but I do hope that you'll take some time every single day to remember where in space you are, if you are standing properly, and how it affects you. So, anytime you're walking or standing, be aware of your posture. It will take time, but it will become second nature with continued practice. It's also interesting that once you maintain and obtain proper posture, you'll notice how poor everyone else's posture is around you. So this is some good information to pass on to people if they're interested. Now, we're going to move on to proper sitting. So, how you sit makes a difference. Again, we spend a lot of our time either sitting or standing. So, there's a few things to remember as you are trying to properly sit. One of the biggest things is to keep both your feet flat on the floor. If there's a problem with your feet reaching the floor comfortably, a footrest can be used. Now, this means all those people who cross at the ankles or at their knees. Anyone who crosses their leg is actually maintaining and pulling their pelvis out of place constantly. Whether you cross over your right or your left, whichever one you do, for example, if you cross with your right at your knee, you're bringing your pelvis, your right side of your pelvis up and in towards the right while pushing the left back and out. So you're actually flaring your pelvis, which will lead to subluxations. Now, we had talked earlier about keeping your ears aligned with your shoulders. Now, again, what you want to do is a little bit of chin retraction should help maintain this posture pretty easily. As we mentioned, bring your chin back slightly to better align your shoulders and ears. Shoulders should be relaxed. Focus on sitting up straight, not on making your back contact the backrest. This is a problem in America. Many of our chairs aren't made properly, and when we sit down, we feel the need to push our backs into the backrest. You don't need a backrest whatsoever. Now, if your back contacts the backrest properly when you're sitting properly, then that's fine. But most people don't even need a backrest, and backrests tend to induce poor posture. So remember, you don't have to slouch to push your back into the backrest. Simply sit up straight and maintain that posture, and then go from there. So, another suggestion is to properly engage your core to maintain proper sitting posture. What this means is that you want your core engaged, your abs engaged a little as you sit, because this will prevent you from slouching forward. We're going to move on to proper sitting at a computer. It's very, very similar to proper sitting, but a few of the things that I like to suggest to people who work at computers all day is that one of the most specific things is the top of your screen should be at eye level. This means if your computer is too low, putting a book or two underneath it will help bring it up to a level that you're not having to look down at it, causing pain and agitation into your neck. Another thing is, again, keep your feet flat on the floor. What you should also do is make sure that your forearms are parallel to the floor and that you're not having to bend your arms or your wrists properly to be able to get to the keyboard. So, if your chair has a backrest, they should have a backrest that supports your lower back. Or, if you're sitting properly, you might not even need that backrest. Now we're going to move on to proper sleeping. Now, first off, what I want to talk about is avoiding a super soft mattress. Your mattress should be firm or somewhat firm and be able to support your whole body, not envelop you when you lay on it. One of the big things we want to talk about is what's the worst sleeping position? And that's sleeping on your stomach. Stomach sleeping makes it difficult to maintain a neutral position with your spine. This also leads to spinal issues, pain, and that big word, subluxation. Also, sleeping on your stomach means that you have to breathe deeper and more aggressively because you're actually pushing your chest against the mattress. It leads to more wrinkles and causes more acid reflux in this position. Now, how can you break the habit of stomach sleeping if that's what you do? One of the examples I've heard is that if you wear a shirt to bed that has a pocket, a front pocket in it, you can put a golf ball, a wiffle ball, a racquetball, any kind of ball that fits into that pocket. As you're sleeping, your body's going to want to roll onto its stomach. As you roll onto that stomach, that ball is going to push into your chest and it's not going to be comfortable. So, it might not wake you up, but your body will know that it's not comfortable in that position and you'll move into a different one. Again, this is a habit forming thing. So if you did this for a month With that ball in your front pocket, you're more likely to stop sleeping in that stomach position. Let's move on to the proper sleeping positions. So, better sleeping positions. Sleeping on your side. Sleeping in this position decreases the pressure that you put on your low back. It reduces acid reflux. It decreases snoring. Prevents neck pain with proper pillow support. Now, sleeping on your back helps prevent neck and low back pain. It reduces the acid reflux. And it minimizes wrinkles. So, my biggest suggestion to you is to try and sleep on your side or on your back. Now, people who are stomach sleepers, my other suggestion is that you try to start off in a position that's better for you, such as your side or your back. Now, no matter what, when you fall asleep, your body's going to do whatever it wants to do, which, if it feels most comfortable sleeping on its stomach, your body is going to turn onto its stomach in the middle of the night. Now, that's where putting that ball in your front pocket is going to come into play, because it's going to help teach you through being uncomfortable while sleeping that you should not be sleeping in that position. Now, beyond these 5 lifestyle changes, what else can keep you subluxation free? And that would be regular maintenance care. Now remember, we discussed maintenance care is after your treatment plan has been fulfilled, that there's a lot more stability and mobility in your spine, and that we've dubbed it a proper time for you to come in between 1 to 4 times per month so that we can see you and help maintain you being subluxation free. And you know your body will function better and last longer, and it will help you with everyday life. Now, these are very important things that I would like you to start trying to implement immediately. Proper sitting, proper lifting, proper posture, and proper sleeping. And as for that, we are going to move on to one of the other stressors that affects your everyday life. Thank you.